Hello, how y'all doing today? Well, today I want to talk about, of course, I want to continue to talk about growing up in a Midtown boxing gym, learning how to box and the process going through that. Uh, One of the things I want to talk about is bullies. One of the things that I noticed about bullies is that I thought back when I was 10 years old, 9 and 8 years old growing up, I thought that they was really, really, really tough guys, and that I always admired that and I always wanted to be tough. I always thought that was power, to be tough and to not uh, let nobody say whatever they want to you, do something to you, and you do it right back, or you let them know you ain't like that. Don't do that no more. I always wanted to be that kind of guy, but I just didn't have the skill to do it. I had the courage. You know, I grew up with 5 brothers, and so they used to, hit me to the body, hit me to the body, and they used to say, "I'm making you tough." And I used to take the little body shots and everything. And so when it came down to confrontation, I knew I can go through a confrontation and come out on the other side. I knew because I had got, a couple body shots from my brothers, and it wasn't bad as I thought it was. But the problem came when it was time for me to try to fight back and defend myself. I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't fight. And so that's what brought me to my wits' end, getting bullied and crying and having my mother, get frustrated with me, getting dirt thrown in my head, my shirt ripped, and my, your shoes all dirty because you done ran in the mud. And she had no understanding with, what was going on until I actually told her. And she brought me around there to the Midtown. Well, some of the things that I noticed being in Midtown every day in boxing is that I thought that this is where all of the tough guys hung out at. So I thought that I'm going to be in here every day, and all of the little bullies and tough guys in the neighborhood, this is where they hung out at. Lo and behold, this is the last place the bullies wanted to be. The bullies wanted to be outside with the guys who was like me, who couldn't defend themselves or wouldn't defend themselves, so that they can get an easy win, a soft victim. And so in Midtown, I thought that it was all bullies in there. And up until this point, I really didn't have any friends. I was alienated from everybody because I was teased and tormented a lot about my physical defects, hands and feet, especially at the swimming pool. Those who know me can probably contest to some of these stories about me going to, like, for an example, Banneker swimming pool. It was an outdoor swimming pool. It's a fun place. It's hot, summertime. Everybody would go. You put the towel around your neck, shorts on. You go up there. You really don't wear no socks because you just want to take your shoes off and jump in the pool. And so that's what I used to do. And they used to give me hell, man. So much so that they used to follow me home, teasing me, because I would get upset and cry, and I couldn't really defend myself. So they could just do it and get away with it. I only had 2 good friends back in these days. Only 2. There's 2 good friends, Marky and Dump. They called them Baby Dump. And those who maybe 50 years or older would know the character on the show Lever the Beaver. One of his friends was a young gentleman by the name of Baby Dump. And so that's where he got his name from. And these 2 guys grew up next door to me, on both sides. And up until this day, I never knew of them mentioning my physical defects, not one time. And so they was always my friends because they never really had a problem. I mean, we was just friends. I don't think they really noticed it. Or if they did, they never said anything about it. But outside of the the block that I lived on out in the community, you know, that's where the problems came in at. So, you know, I've been in Midtown maybe 8, 9 months, 10 months. I done had I done boxed 6 months, 7 months. I done had 3 or 4 fights. I don't remember losing any fights in the very beginning. None. I don't remember losing any fights like outside the ring either. Back and when I first learned how to box, you know, because I'm fresh. These skills are heightened because every single day I would go home and I would practice my boxing. Every single day, and I took it very, very, very serious because I was sick and tired of getting beat up and having my mother mad at me and my brothers and sisters mad at me. Everybody's mad at me. So I had to have a change. And boxing became an empowering thing to me. I know some kids, when they try to go out and do sports, it becomes debilitating when they can't do it. But I believe I'm thankful for sheer determination and desperation, because it was desperation that got me to the point where I had to do something. And, you know, boxing every day, learning how to box, and getting in there with looking at guys on the outside of the ring, watching them spar other guys and watching them shadow box. I would sit back and I would admire them, and I was, man, I hope they don't ever put me in there with him, because he looked like he'll hurt somebody. But weeks and weeks and months down the line, after they done whooped everybody in the gym, they throw him in there with me. And in the beginning, I was scared. I really couldn't get my thing off like I wanted to. But as I kept going and kept coming, and I learned defense was one of my pet peeves. Defense and speed. Because one of the ideas Dump used to have is he used to come in the gym with rocks in his pocket. And he used to take rocks out his pocket. And I was like, what do you got rocks in your pocket for? And he said, make them run faster. And he used to take 2 big rocks out of his pocket and shadow box with them. And I say, well, why you gonna throw them rocks at somebody? Oh, you know, we throw an acorn or something. We ain't throwing rocks at nothing. But he was to have rocks in his hand. I'm thinking, who you ready to throw rocks at? We in the gym. You can't really throw no rocks in here. But he tell me, nah, I got these rocks in my hand because it's going to make my hands faster. So he had the rocks in his pocket to make his legs faster. And he used to have the rocks in his hand to make his hands faster. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to try that. Now, I didn't get the chance to put no rocks in my pockets. Only the reason why I never put a lot of rocks in my pockets is because my pants were always hand-me-down. So they was normally too big for me. And I would have to flip them 2 or 3 times so they could fit me. So for me to put rocks in my pocket, my pants is just going to fall straight down. So I would just have, get the rocks in my hands and shadow box with them. And that would tire you out a little bit, depending upon the rocks that you get. We used to get little nice sized rocks to work with. And so we used the rocks, throw punches, weave. And so after a while, you do it so much, you just don't even notice you got rocks in your hands. And so that developed me having quick hands. So I got good defense and I got fast hands. And so I didn't know this, but getting in the ring, having those 2 things could enable you to do some very, very nice stuff, along with some good footwork. Oh, you can do some magnificent stuff. And like I said before, Sugar Ray Leonard was my idol at that time. So I used to give him a lot of problems in there just by having fast hands and throwing a lot of punches and moving my head. And the older guys in Midtown used to, cheer us on. And after we spar, when we come out the ring, they used to send us to the store to get things such as like a knee-high soda, which you probably don't know what that is. They used to ask us, well, go get me 4 RCs. And you probably don't know what that is neither. But these are sodas they used to have back in the early 80s. And they give you a $20 bill or a $50 bill and send you to the store. When you come back, they say keep the change. Lo and behold, to me, is that they used to bet on us, little guys in the ring, to see, who was going to win, who was going to lose. And I don't know how they was judging it, but they would choose who won and who lose. And they never told, at least me, I don't know if they told everybody else, but I never knew this. And so, because I was always the underdog, I was making these guys a little bit of change. I don't know, some money. And they used to help me out by throwing me a couple of dollars. The job was to go to the store for them, and then when you come back, they let you keep the change, or they give you a couple of dollars out the change that you bought back. And so for me to have, 3 or 4 RCs, like 65 cents a piece, he give you a $20 bill, you coming back with $19, $18 and some change. It's more money than I ever had in my life. And right across the street from Midtown was a store called Daddy's, and in there, they sold penny candy and penny cookies. I remember them days, some good days, and so you used to be able to go in there and after practice, go over there and get you a big bag of candy, a big bag of cookies, and go in the house and, watch TV. I remember those days before I used to go to Midtown. What I used to do is just come home from school and just stay in the house. I used to just watch all the cartoons, all the Disney cartoons, What's Happening, and Sanford and Son, and Welcome Back, Kotter. Whatever that was on, just to keep me from outside. If I get bored with that, I used to just go draw pictures and try to draw things on a little piece of paper. I used to love art when I was young like that too. But every single day I used to go in that gym, and I just try and just do the best I can. And most days, after I got the hang of it and learned that, I could take a punch, it wasn't as bad as I was, that this big giant monster of a person that I thought these guys was, that they really wasn't, that they was just as scared as me. And that, you look around and you thinking, man, where all the bullies at? I thought all the bullies would be right here getting tough, but none of them was in there. Not one bully was in Midtown. A lot of guys get, be good at sports and they'll be introduced to boxing, or their father will bring them around there so that he can live vicariously through them, or their big brother will bring them around there so he can live vicariously through them. It was always a bonding thing. But my mother took me around there because I wasn't able to stand up for myself, and I wasn't able to defend myself against bullies. So that was a sort of embarrassing thing to tell you, your mother brought you around there. And I used to tell her, Mom, please don't come around here and watch me boxing, because I didn't want nobody to, know my mother was bringing me around there. This is some really good stuff right here. This is a moss smoothie that I buy, 3 times a week from a place called the Blue Nile up on Georgia Avenue, Georgia and Harvard Street. Beautiful. It has 92 minerals and vitamins in it. Take a little sip. But these were some wonderful times for me, man. And I remember one day in Midtown, one of the best fighters in there. A lot of times I want to say these guys' name, but I don't want to mention nobody's name because these are my stories. These ain't about them. This is about me. I mean, it's just about the experience. It ain't about, their names are really not important. And he used to tell me, man, I'm going to get you in the ring. I'm going to get you in the ring. I was like, nah, you ain't going to get me in the ring. He's like, I ain't going to hit you hard. I'm not going to hit you hard. I said, yeah, you say that, but I don't want to get in there and find out if you're going to hit me hard. So one day, he talked me into getting in there, and he started off hitting me soft. And, I was thinking, okay, I can do a little something. So I started hitting him back. And so gradually, it's starting to heat up. We throwing punches. We banging each other. Man, this guy, it's the first time in my life I ever was hit with a body shot. Now, I'm assuming he was thinking, okay, I ain't gonna hit him hard in his face, but I can hit him hard in his body. Man, first time I got hit with a body shot, every single piece of air or wind shot straight out my body immediately. And so I'm gasping for air. I'm bent. As a matter of fact, when he hit me to the body, it took about 3 seconds for me to realize what just happened. So I stopped, and it was a delayed reaction. All of a sudden, I wanted to scream, holler, but wasn't nothing come out my mouth. Nothing was coming out. And so I bent over. Matter of fact, I think I laid down and rolled around a little bit off that body. I think I was rolling like stop, drop, and roll, like if you was in a fire or something. Rolling around, holding my stomach. And what I learned from that was, I learned core work. That you did all them push-ups and you ran and you did all them exercises, but you neglected your core, your body. And so that's when I learned about doing the sit-ups and the crunches and things like that. And what we used to do, 3 or 4 guys, they had this big, giant leather medicine ball with stitching on it, stitching to keep it together. And we used to take this medicine ball and throw it at each other, slam it at each other's body. 1 minute, I'm coming out, I'm coming. And we used to sit there, throw it at each other's body, bow, 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 like madmen. And the thing was, when you catch the medicine ball, you catch it with your body, then you grab it with your hands. And so that's how we went on and developed the body work. But like I always say, man, those experiences was the greatest life experiences I could ever have, because I'm still able to look back on them and benefit from them today. Boxing has always been a joy and a pleasure for me to do. And it's still a joy and honor and a pleasure for me to give these lessons and to teach young people the technical, the mechanical, and the mental aspects of boxing. I love what I do. I love having a purpose to cultivate a fighter mentally into what I want them to be, cultivate young people into, because I'm not going to say never, but I don't know if I'll ever have a world champion. They say they come around once in a lifetime, once or twice in a lifetime, or every 10 to 20 years. But what I do know is that I can instill these lessons and I can develop character in each and every young individual, young person that get in front of me. So if he don't become a world champion, he could become a good young person, a good citizen, a good father, a good brother, a good sister, and he can develop the attitude that I'm not going to give up, because my coach didn't give up. All the stuff that he been through, coming from behind every day, not having all his fingers and his toes, and being teased and bullied and talked about, and being homeless and all, and being an alcoholic, and overcoming all of that stuff, and drugs, and in prison, and overcoming all of that stuff, to be able to sit here and give me these lessons is a benefit. And I think is a benefit to young folks. And I'm going to continue to do what I can. So I got to go. I'm a little bit late. So I got to get in here and do some training right now. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit late. I wanted to do this video. So I just want to say thank you. Y'all have a great day.